Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Diaz.
I'm Scott.
And we're keeping you in the loop with the guitar community.
Intro music.
Q, 2, 3, 4. All the worship, all the P-Dub players understood that one.
They understood that
way too well.
That MIDI track. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this episode is brought to you by Electromotive Sound Co. Go check out Electromotive Sound Co. I know he does a lot of listings on Reverb.
He has a website now too. Yeah.
He has a proper website. He doesn't use Angel Fire or GeoCities anymore.
Nope.
Looking at you, Mike Piera. Also, big shout out to our patrons, our Patreon supporters. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have money in our account.
Wait, we have money in our account?
Honestly, I feel like if we just keep ignoring that we have an account, one day we'll look down and we'll be like, hey, we're all going to buy some pedals really quick. We're going to shut this podcast down. That was what it was all for. So we can get like matching. Oh, what if we had enough to get like matching DRVs like the Slum did?
I mean,
or something else then.
Not to besmirch
you already
the
have
DRV.
DRVs.
I'm on my second one already. And
Right.
I got to the point where I was like, I don't want it. And then I was like, I kind of do want one. But since I got this one, I literally have never plugged it in.
Yeah.
It's just sitting on the shelf, but I wanted to have another one. I don't know.
Yeah, I still want one pretty bad. Let's see. What's new? Do I once again, I still have nothing new, which is good, which means I haven't gone into a manic spending spree and gotten in trouble financially. Woo!
Well, at least just not in guitar pedals.
No, really not anything.
No?
I've done extremely well.
Good for you.
I'm very proud of myself. So that was one of I think it was kind of a thing that a self goal. Diaz went to the gym today. Another goal that was met.
Yeah, we're having a very like Diaz has his life together more than Scott does day.
Yeah, because Diaz has been to the gym more recently than Scott has, which is. But in all fairness, I signed up for the gym like a week ago.
Do you have to wear a mask at your gym?
Nope.
Okay, so that's my thing is like I have to still wear a mask at the gym in Chicago.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against masks, I'm against trying to work out while wearing one.
Yeah, that's definitely
I can't
tough.
breathe.
Right.
Like
hold on really quick. That was not a political statement. Anyone, please don't get upset. He was literally.
No, actually, so like at my church, we were wearing masks because we were really tight together on stage. Right. And because like I go to church where like we're encouraged to kind of bounce around a little bit and do some stuff, I was sucking air hard. And then the mask would get all and then all the mask gets all wet and like it gets harder to breathe. So I was having that kind of problem. Our new stage setup, we're more spread out, so we haven't been wearing masks on stage. But yeah.
I definitely could not do the gym if I had to wear a mask. I already breathe heavy just walking into the gym. So like
I think if I only lifted weights, it would be fine. But definitely the cardio side would be rough.
Yeah. So definitely would be tough. So let's see what's new.
But I also have weights at home and I just do push-ups. So
right. So new. I guess we'll talk about positive things that are going on. Diaz hasn't spent a lot of money.
Good.
He's gotten his spending habits borderline into control. The biggest thing has been not eating out. I have stumbled. I ate Zaxby's way too much this past week. But for the most part, I've been cooking at home a lot, and I went to the gym, so that's been pretty good. What's new with you, Scott?
Speaking of manic purchasing,
yeah.
Well, so I did get a GFI System Specular Tempest in.
You did? Have you messed with that much?
I haven't messed with it. It's been one of those weeks where I hit my limit this week in terms of just too many things to do and stress and exhaustion and completely collapsed. And so, and on top of that, not to get too political here, I also got my vaccine booster. So I had a really rough Friday from that.
Yeah, you said that it was this is the first time you've gotten a booster, right?
Yeah, so it hit faster. It didn't hit as intense, but I still just didn't feel great and hit me on an exhausted week. So
that sounds like my Tinder profile.
Yeah.
booster. Hits you faster. Doesn't last as long. Oh man.
Episode
Anywho.
title. But I did do something cool this week.
Wait, hold on. Write it down really quick. Hold on. Wait. That's my Tinder profile. Hold
on. So I did get my. We talked about this because we were recording on a Monday for last week's app, but I got the rectifier tube in for my Super Reverb. Got that thing working again. Got the 2 notes working with it and dialed in perfectly, and now I have a beautiful capture of it on my Quad Cortex. So
nice.
I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Well, we had a lot of fun with the Quad Cortex in our chat room. For our Patreon supporters, which you go to patreon.com/theeffectsloop and give us money, you can be in there and be a part of this fun game. We got to AB some audio of the Quad Cortex versus your
real amp. Yeah.
It was really funny because I was the first one to vote, and I guessed correctly, and Scott just texted me. He's like, pretty much like, how the F did you guess that?
Well, like, I wanted to know, like, there are Sonic giveaways that I'm aware of because I know what A and B were.
Right.
And so I was like, did you pick that up, and was it a guess or not? Because like I've been doing these ABs with a few of my friends too, because
right,
one of my buddies got the Corey Wong neural package,
which is fantastic. I messed with the demo and it was great.
Yeah, he was playing around with that, and he compared that with his Helix and the Iridium.
Right.
And I totally guessed wrong with him, but I did ID to him. I'm like, all right, this one sounds really compressed. This one sounds not compressed at all. And then I assumed based on those things which one was which. But sometimes there's really telltale giveaways, and like in this one, I could hear one of them, and I was curious if you heard one of them. So
my giveaway, or the reason I guessed, was at one point I believe there was just a little flub on the low end.
Yep.
Which is usually my giveaway for the real amp.
Yeah, especially with a loose like rectifier. Like that's a tube rectified amp, so it's going to be a little looser on the bottom end.
Right. And usually you can hear it. The big one is like, especially when using like single coils and stuff like that.
Which was a Strat on the neck pickup. So
which when you hit that like low E string open, and you can kind of hear that boop, like, or even if you're playing anything on the low E getting up, you can kind of hear it has that little flubby thing, and that's what leaned my guess towards that. But I did say that I like the Quad Cortex a lot better, honestly, because I feel like as long as I've been doing pretty much digital with the Kemper, Iridium, so on and so forth, is that I've learned that I don't like that.
The flubby low end?
Yeah, I don't like the flubby low end.
Yeah, but you lose the thing with tube amps, like especially like this one, is there's a lot of sparkle on the high end,
right? That
I really like. And then when you go to a lot of the solid state stuff, yeah, it tightens up the low end, but it has no sparkle.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with this thing, and I'm probably, if I feel better later, I'm going to go upstairs and get my AC15 out of storage and profile that too, and see if I can get my old rig fully dialed back in on my Quad Cortex.
Nice.
Because a Super Reverb and AC15 blend very well together.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, let's move on to some gear news. So EHX shrinks the micro Qtron, the micro Qtron down to the nano Qtron.
Yeah.
They're getting smaller, bub.
You know what? Where has this been? Because Qtrons have been popular for so long, and
Qtrons have been popular whether Qtrons whether people know it or not, because they like hear the sound and they want it, and everyone's just like, no, it's a Qtron, and then they're like, oh.
I mean, the one that I think of is I Don't Trust Myself, Loving You by John Mayer. Like that's a Qtron. Like.
No, it wasn't.
It's not?
No, that's an Adrenaline.
You're thinking bigger than my body.
I'm like 99% sure that it's Adrenaline.
All right, I'm texting Ian.
Ian didn't know what the yellow pedal was. I'm like 99% sure.
I know he had an adrenaline for a little bit there for Bigger Than My Body. I don't think he used it on I Don't Trust Myself.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Qtrons are popular, especially with John Mayer heads, because he does use a Qtron, despite what Diaz says.
I know I'm talking about the recording. I'm pretty sure he uses it live.
I think he uses one now. I don't think he carries the...
He doesn't take the adrenaline with him, but hold on.
But as we both Google this while we're talking. So this brings... At the EHX Nano size is the sort of single size pedal. It adds a knob back to it that allows you to control overall volume. This is where we get copyright struck because Diaz is listening to music loudly on the podcast.
I even put it up to the mic. That wasn't an adrenaline. The Adrenaline 3. I'm like 99% sure. Studio
In
version.
In the studio,
Adrenaline
he uses an Adrenaline 2. Interesting.
Adrenaline 2. That's the yellow one.
He's a Qtron Plus for the tours.
Yeah.
Apparently. All right.
But the actual sound that we're looking for is...
It's an envelope filter sound.
Yeah, but I was right.
Yep. Moving on.
Let's not dwell too long on this.
It's not.
So, but this is only $106.
I know, it's cheap. It's easy. It fits on your board. I mean, this is what people want.
Fucking knobs. I hate the knobs.
Yeah,
I hate those EHX knobs. Just why do they have to have such ugly knobs?
And side mounted jacks.
I don't care about the jacks.
I'm not anti side mounted jacks, but if you're going to put side mounted jacks, you need to put side mounted power. If you're going to do top mounted power, do top mounted jacks. Just make it easy, all in one area.
It doesn't bother me one bit.
All right.
What bothers me is the knobs.
Yeah, EHX knobs suck.
Yeah, I just don't like them.
But they're consistent. I mean, at this point, I wonder if they came out with something new, would we knock them for it?
I would.
Or would we be like, oh my gosh, you finally saved us?
I'd call Mike Matthews myself and thank you.
Or if I was EHX, I'd come out with a better knob, sell 4-packs of them for $4 or $5 with purchase, so you can upgrade your knobs. But you have to do it, and they just rake in money off of a part that costs nothing.
Can you replace these knobs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that people always had issue. I know there was an issue, like the way they're made.
Honestly, I would just want... I'd rather have like a little tool that has like a bunch of blades in it that you just press down on it, and it puts little splines in, so they just have some texture. I don't actually hate the look of them. I hate how smooth they are, and you can never like turn them.
Ooh, maybe that's what I think. Yeah, let's add some texture to them.
Yep.
All right. Well, but they're saving us. I mean, but that's how they were able to do guitar pedals for $106. It's because they all have the same knobs. So
that's part of it, definitely.
I mean, that's a real big thing. Like I know that is a fact of, and especially like a lot of the casings are almost all the same. You can swap whatever. It makes things cheaper, and I get that. But still, I wish you could pay to upgrade the knobs, which I guess apparently you can, just not through them. All right, let's move on to this next thing that I'm super excited about. And I honestly, like, I know I really shouldn't like be super excited, and it's not anything super amazing.
What is
but
it?
It's a thing. All right, so MXR puts out the Tom Morello signature Power 50 pedal. So it is.
Aren't I supposed to fight the power?
That is 100% true. Actually, but that song is not by Rage Against the Machine. So
I know. That's is that Rage? That's Rage. No, not Rage. Run DMC.
No,
isn't it?
Public Enemy.
Not Public Enemy. Damn it. Yeah, I'm remembering. It was made for Do the Right Thing, wasn't it? Like the movie,
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was
on the movie like 8 times because that one guy just keeps playing it on his boombox.
Yes, but I don't know if it was made for the movie.
I think it was.
Yeah. Fight the powers that be. All right. So, anyways, Tom.
Yeah. Now I have that stuck in your head. No Rage Against the Machine. But
so Tom Morello. One thing I'll say about Tom Morello that's quite fascinating is the man has had decades long career. I mean, what, 30 plus years, and his rig does not change. Like,
no,
he's used a JCM 800 2205 head and a PV 4x12 cabinet for his entire career.
I mean, yeah,
Pretty much.
he's been using like his own like homemade guitars too. I mean, he's not.
The Arm the Homeless guitar was a guitar that he had custom made that he absolutely hated, and he swapped everything out of it and ended up with it the way it is. I mean, he's got the Aerodyne Strat. He's got his black and white Telecaster that he uses for his drop D stuff. He's got quite a few guitars, but he's got his mainstay ones. I know during the Audio Slave years, he started using I guess it was a 335 or some sort of semi-hollow for some of the
I bet you that has Chris Cornell's influence in that.
Well, I know he used it a lot on what's the song called? It's the song, it's tuned in standard except for the low E strings tuned down to a B.
Neon?
No, that's a C. What's the song? It's gonna kill me. I can't remember what it is. It's not Set It Off. This is the part where Jonathan's looking. And...
You'll be okay. We can move on. So,
can we?
So the first thing is, so this is an overdrive pedal.
It has an effects loop.
Yes, it does, because he runs all his stuff in the effects loop. But it is not. When I first saw this, I actually thought it was a powered pedal, like a power amp pedal.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's not.
It's not.
Does it have but it does have a speaker sim.
Gasoline. Sorry, that was a song.
Yes.
Well, you said it has what? I'm sorry.
It has the speaker sim in it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you could plug this direct in and be done.
Yeah.
So you
is
think
there a way
he's
to
going to
turn
start
off the speaker sim off?
I see. So I am curious. Does this mean Tom's going to go touring with just a board?
I highly doubt it.
He's made 21 studio albums. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess if you include all his like protest song stuff.
Yeah. The Watchmen.
Yeah.
That no one cares about. Sorry, Tom. But anywho.
But $190, pretty reasonable price. I mean, especially if this takes over as your like a DI kind of a situation or whatever you're doing.
I might check one out. I hope that they hit my local Guitar Center soon. Yeah. It's just really cool. I love the built-in effects loop. I learned something new. I always thought that Tom Morello just went straight into the front of his amp, but apparently he's always used the effects loop. Or all of his stuff goes in the effects loop.
Yeah, so that means his wah's in his.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting setup, since most people try to put the wah like so early in their chain.
Yeah, my wah is very early. No, the whammy too.
Yeah,
like whammy's usually up there in people's chains too, but apparently we've been doing it effing wrong.
So there you go.
Yeah. Well,
maybe that's the real big news of this is maybe we should change our pedal order and you'd get more of his sound, more than people want to go buy this pedal, which is kind of sad to say, but
I really want. I like it. I think it's very ironic that he's coming out with all this signature gear, which just means that he's running out of money.
Or he's finally
which apparently
cashing in.
You need, Mr. Communist. Sorry. Maybe he held out long enough.
He's just using MXR to redistribute our money to him.
Right. Think about it. Tim Comfort just came out with a signature bass recently too with Stingray with Music Man.
So I don't want to totally knock the whole idea of this, because I don't actually know if the money's going to something. Because sometimes signature gear will, the licensing or the likeness rights wind up going to something as a charitable donation or something like that. So
right,
it's a very easy knock to take a shot at these guys. Be like, oh, you're capitalist.
We don't know where it's all going. We don't know.
If it is, then yeah, it's a rightful. I mean, it's a reasonable knock against the guys. But if it's not,
even then, I want to say this also. You also don't. I could only imagine the amount of money that they have. No,
what it would be like.
No, stop it. But the amount of money that they've given away and donated to help places and people. And
Oh yeah.
and honestly, there is a certain level that you have to understand of if you want to be charitable, you've got to have money to give. So like, I mean, it's double-edged sword, which proves that, you know, communism won't always work, but we're not going to get onto that. Communism's just a red herring. All right, Mojo Hand Effects unveils the Sericon, a clon style drive pedal with 3 separate gain controls.
So this is interesting because we've seen
3.
Yeah, so you've got blaze, gain, and drive. Now they're kind of cryptic about what it does exactly. Yeah. So I'd be really curious.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I'd be really curious once I get this in hand. But I mean, a lot of people like modding clones or modding clones. That's how we get clones.
Clone.
Yeah. So this is a different version of that I haven't really seen before. I've seen a lot of people break apart the dual gain pot and make it 2 so that you have a clean blend or a clean control. I've seen a bass control knob on it instead of the bass filter that's normally built into it. You know, we've seen some of those kind of things, but I've never seen 3 gain controls. So I'm really curious about this because the Klon doesn't have a staged gain setup. Like, it's not cascading gain the way, like, I don't know, like a Mesa amplifier does, you know?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
How much is it? $200?
Yeah, $199, $200.
Yeah, it's running off DC, or 9 volts DC. I'm assuming they're doing the 18 volt scaling thing again in that. Oh, here, actually, there is some on this. There is actual multiple gain stages now.
Dime to blaze control when gain and drive controls are similarly mixed out, and you can get some serious beef to your sound. What if you're vegan?
Well, I think the beef is a joke back to the Mojo Hand's previous clone was the Sacred Cow. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they still making that one?
I hope so. That is seriously one of my favorite 60 cycle hum demos.
Oh yeah, that's back when Ryan was like putting in way too much time and effort.
I think that's before Ryan had a beard.
I think it's before Ryan cared. No, I'm just kidding. Before he gave up. That's what it was.
Kids will do that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I give up.
I think if you're looking for something different in the Klon realm, this might be something very realistic to check out. So I'd like to get my hands on one of these and try it once they're in stores.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true bypass, so it's not buffered anymore too.
That's interesting. All right. So, question.
Yes.
Could this amp be the next no-brainer for pedal platform? Supro releases the Royale, a clean, high headroom 50-watt combo amp. They couldn't call it the quarter pounder because you know why?
In France, they call it the Royale with cheese.
Yeah, you know why?
Because Seymour Duncan?
Metric system. The metric system.
Ah.
Did you know, fun fact, that at one point McDonald's tried to make a third pounder, and they took it off the menu because, do you know why they took it off the menu?
Because people thought it was less meat than the quarter pounder.
100% true. 100% true.
Fractions is
stupid for the
fractions is 4th grade math.
We are too fucking stupid to order fast food. I deal with it on a daily basis. It's true. One of my favorite questions is whenever I say, did you want just the Whopper or do you want to make that a meal? No, just the Whopper. I need a medium fry and a medium drink. Yeah, it's a meal, dude. But that's fine. I'll charge you more if you want me to ring it up that way.
Like, I know I'm on the extreme end of it where I actually can think in metric and imperial because of what I do for a living, but it's always sad when I see people just fail at math.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
Anywho,
yeah.
Supro Royale, 50 watts power when running in a Class A B mode, or 35 when in a Class A mode. So it can do both modes, which means somehow it's turning off a tube. That's all I really know. I know. Fun fact: Class A does not mean it's high quality components. It means it's a certain arrangement of components.
Yeah.
So a Class D is not a worse rated amplifier. It's a different style of amplifier.
It's a different style. It's got a black Scandia Tolex and a hemp grill cloth. Hell yeah!
I think it
Sign
looks
me up.
great. It's got this tuxedo
It looks
look.
fantastic. Yes. I like the look of it. You know what? Super amps look great. I cannot wait for this to be on the stupid deal of the day.
All right, so
it's $1,500 now. So $1,000 stupid deal of the day.
Supro is consistently undercutting Fender at this point too, because they're foreign made guitar or foreign made amps and whatnot. But
Right.
when do we start finally seeing these things start to take over? Because they're making a product that should do well at a scale that should do well, but for some reason
They've got
Fender
the
Blues
Black
Junior
Star.
and Fender Hot Rod Deluxes still seem to just own everything.
They've got the Black Star syndrome.
They're viewed as too cheap.
They can't. It's not too. Yeah, they've. So Black Star 2 also got on some of these deals and stuff, and they lowered the perceived value of their brand.
I know that argument is made. I know if it happens too much,
it's
really
not an argument.
bad.
It's the truth.
I mean,
the
like
truth. Though.
the GNL ASAT tribute or whatever just goes on sale all the time, and it's like
D'Angelico guitars. It's the same brand. The problem is, Pigtronics had this issue too. That whenever so if you look at a Pigtronics pedal on Stupid Deal of the Day, you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'd get that. If you look at their pedals at normal price, you're like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Same with Supro on these amps is because you've associated this amp with being, Stupid Deal of the Day. Randomly, you get really good quality product stuff, but usually it's stuff that they're trying to get off the shelf. They're trying to turn this product.
Here's the thing with that, though. You're dealing with a retailer. And generally, I think the stupid deal of the day is when musicians' friend sits there and says, all right, we're going to sacrifice our take of this to get rid of it. Not we're going to sacrifice the guitar maker's take of it. And so retailers mark up stuff by like 50%. So like if
I know, but we've got to, but the question is, what do they have a minimum advertised price on Supro? Because if they do, that means that they'd have to get Supro's approval to run that price, wouldn't they?
Maybe, unless they're, there's some sort of thing in there of like, if we hit
a contract where they can,
if we hit 90 days and the stuff's all sitting on the shelf by X percentage, we're allowed to liquidate it or something like that. There's got to be some clause in there that lets them get out of map.
Right.
Because they go right. The funny part is, stupid deal of the day is they discount everything and then they throw it back up at regular price. It's not like they stopped carrying that product.
I get that, but what I don't know. If I saw that same amp for $1,000, I'm like, I'm not paying fucking $1,500 for that.
Yeah. How much does this guy come in? Because Supro stuff's been at $1,500. Okay, so that's
why I've been using.
So Supro
that
is pushing their stuff more premium because I think of Supro as like a Hot Rod Deluxe competitor. Like they did that Robert Keeley amp that to me was like, that is the Hot Rod Deluxe.
Okay, look, they've got the Delta King. It's a 5-watt amp, $550.
Yeah.
The 10 inches. I mean,
how much?
$650 for the 15-watt.
Yeah. How much does the Hot Rod Deluxe cost now? $800, $900?
I'm looking it up. How many watts is a Hot Rod Deluxe?
40.
$900.
Wow. Wait, Hot Rod Deluxe is $900. How much is a Deluxe Reverb?
Out of Fender Deluxe Reverb,
$1,200.
1,300.
Oh, man, that makes such a bad value prop of like, should I get a new Hot Rod Deluxe or a used Deluxe Reverb?
Right.
Get a Deluxe Reverb or a Princeton.
I want one of the, what are the lighter weight ones? The digital ones?
Crap. I'm blanking on the name. Where it's a solid state, but it's doing modeling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, those are sweet.
65 Deluxe Reverb, 22-watt, 1x12, $1,500.
Wow, everything. I've lost track of pricing.
Yeah.
in the last 2 years. Part of it's because I don't think I've gotten a Sweetwater catalog in a while, which means I haven't read the Sweetwater catalog on the John in a while. Because let's be honest, that's where you put it.
I've just stopped pooping in general. So
you might want to get that looked at.
Yeah, no, but I got these really cool yellow eyes.
Oh, you might have lupus.
It's never lupus. Oh my god!
Thank you for catching that.
That was, oh man, dude! I air high five that we went with a house reference.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
that might be my next like show to binge.
I'm in the middle of binging it.
You're binging House right now?
Yeah,
sick.
So usually like the shows I binge, I've got like 3, like I usually run 3 at a time. I have like my I'm not paying attention binge, the one that's playing in the background. I've got my I'm watching this binge, and then I've got my like sleep binge, where if I fall asleep and wake up at a random spot, I'm not going back. I'm good.
You should get the plug-in that you wear a Fitbit and it tells when you can fall asleep and it pauses Netflix. That's totally a thing. Also, you shouldn't fall asleep to watching TV, but that's another discussion.
I know. I've already had that discussion with my friend Chelsea. She already gets on to me about that.
I'm guilty of watching like YouTube till I go to bed too. So don't. She
apparently she's like no electronics in the bedroom, anything like that. She's like one of those. Like she's hardcore, and I was just like. I was like messaging her and I was like, hey, I went to sleep without the TV on. And she's like, good. And she's like, keep doing that. And I was like, nope.
No, I gotta get better at doing that.
Hey, I went to the gym today. I have a whole week of freedom now. I don't think that's how it works, but that's how it's working.
Is this like you went to the gym for 20 minutes, now you're gonna eat ice cream all week?
Yeah,
like, I went to the gym today.
Fuck yeah, I went to the gym. I'm gonna eat this whole thing of
I'll have a large Dunkin' Donuts coffee with 30 sugar packets.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. I don't drink coffee, so
yeah, that's true.
It's the sodas. I'll take the extra large Coke, no ice. Don't you water that down.
Is half ice an option?
Yeah.
Will they actually give you less ice?
Yeah. So like if you come to my store, if you don't ask for anything, we fill the cup to the top of the ice.
Oh yeah.
And then light ice is about honestly light ice we only put like maybe a third of a cup, if that.
No, there you go.
So yeah, especially but like even like if you order like a tea, and you're like light ice, we still fill it up like 3/4 of the way because we don't keep our tea refrigerated, so it's gonna melt half of it. So yep. Pretty much it.
There you go.
Now you know the inner workings of Burger King.
Well, now that we know those, let's talk about the inner workings of Reverb.com.
Yeah, so I guess someone on this show went on to another show and talked about it, but we're going to talk about it on our show.
Yeah, so if you want a full hour of us talking about this, you can check out the 40 Watt podcast. I went on there and talked to Philip about this. I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago.
If you listen to that while going to sleep, does that help you go to sleep too?
Yes, you still don't listen to podcasts, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's been a wave of this, and as such, after a week or two of reaction to it, now the internet's finally kind of catching up with the news, and you're seeing people complain about it.
Yeah.
If you sell on Reverb and you sell enough on Reverb, you now need to fill out some tax forms.
Yeah. Now the question, Scott, have you actually read into this because you do quite a bit. Because
I actually know what a 1099 is. Yes.
Yeah. You're an independent contractor, pretty much, right?
That is a 1099 regular is an independent contractor. 1099K is a unique form of it, but yes.
Okay. All right. So, the question is, I saw this argument and I was wondering if you could help out. If you don't profit though, if you can prove that you spent more than you sold,
yes,
do you still have to fill that out?
No, you can actually claim a loss.
Right. Okay, cool. So that's a big thing,
which is the same thing. Like, so what's happening right now is essentially Reverb Marketplace, where you sell commodities, buy and sell, is now being called in. Like this has always been there. It just had been at such a high quantity. And in some of the recent tax bills and things like that have rolled out new rules on that You now need to fill out forms. It used to be like you sold $20,000 worth of goods. Now it's like
right.
600, 400 in some states.
Right.
And what's interesting is it's still different per state, even though it's a federal regulation. But so yeah, this is the same thing you had. Like if you trade stocks, you already had to fill this stuff out, for example.
Right. The question: do you feel like Reverb handled this the best they could have?
Mixed feelings, because it's
I
being
feel like
rolled
they
out
should have done
really fast. Like
I
this
feel
was
like
a bill passed in like April. And it's
well, I feel like
year.
they should have done like a video and been like tax forms on Reverbs for dummies.
So there's a liability thing with that. They don't want to be caught liable for giving people fraudulent tax advice.
Okay.
And also there is value in giving tax advice, so therefore no one wants to
do it for free.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And also a fun thing, if you have a 1099, you don't get to use the basic version of like TurboTax or H&R Block online if you're filling out your taxes. You have to use the upgraded version.
Because it's no longer standardized deduction, it's now itemized.
Not necessarily. I mean, I forgot what the itemized deduction amount is. I think it's like
the standard deduction is like $25,000.
Yeah. So I mean, you have to work really hard to get up to an itemized. I know people can do it, but
I don't. I 100% do not. I use a standard deduction. My taxes are very simple.
I got really close one year because it was actually last year. I got really close because I gave away a ton of money early on because I was supporting charities. I've been doing a lot of that. I took on extra nights cooking at the homeless shelter, stuff like that. Those are charitable deductions. Even though they're, I pay for them out of pocket, they're still technically charitable deductions. So I have to save every Popeyes receipt and Costco receipt that I do for that and see if it adds up to an itemized deduction, and it never does. So, but anyway, going back to this, if you're buying and selling pedals on Reverb, you are trading commodities. If those commodities are appreciating, you technically are supposed to pay taxes on the value it goes up. However, if you sell it at a loss, you can write off the losses at the same time. So, the average flipper or the average buyer and seller of pedals likely
really
is
doesn't
losing
have much
money.
to worry about.
I know a lot of us like to think of that one thing we bought at a cheap price and sold high, but generally most of us are losing money on
Gear Supply Co. pedals.
Sure.
Still the best fucking flip of my life.
I don't know. That Boss Fuzz was a pretty good deal too.
That one was probably one of the fastest flips that just really happened. I mean, I profited like $200.
Yeah.
Like in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. But another common thing is actually, I don't know if I want to, this is not tax advice.
This is not, we are not tax professionals, nor are we professionals on this subject or educated enough to give you professional advice.
Have we Wall Street bets this enough yet?
I am Gordon Gekko. Okay, go ahead.
So I just was reading some articles recently on a common trick is a lot of stocks tend to go down in December.
Right.
And so what a lot of people do is they'll sell stocks they're planning on holding and then buy them back immediately.
Yeah.
To count as a loss against
their taxes
against their tax gains to minimize their overall gains that they get taxed.
There's a very popular person in the kind of guitar world that we roam in that's really big into cryptocurrency and all that stuff right now, who apparently sold all of his cryptocurrency last night and he's going to buy it back,
probably for that reason.
That, or I know they've anticipated a dip, so he wants to well,
the last couple days have been all dips. I mean, again, we're recording this on Saturday the 4th, but the markets have sank the last couple days, and especially things like the meme stocks and things like that. Everything's kind of taking a dip.
Yeah, it's because everyone's selling their stuff for Christmas presents.
And the whole coronavirus fears.
Yeah. Omicron Persei 8 is real. But yeah, so here's my thing. So I saw all this, and me being a simple person as I am,
agreed.
You could have like paused or something. You didn't have to Like, damn, you were
I'm
just
I'm just
waiting.
actively listening, DS. Just actively
Yeah,
listening.
yeah. Yeah, you can actively go fuck yourself. No, all right. But so my first thought is before Reverb was really big and before it became the platform it was, there was eBay, but also
Which you also had the $20,000 thing on, but yeah.
But here's the thing, we still have Facebook groups. Granted, we are not given the protection that you're given on Reverb, quote unquote protection. But if you use PayPal, you still have some protection, and also you're avoiding sales taxes. Do we think that there's going to be do you feel there will be a resurgence of Facebook group marketplaces selling, and explain your answer?
First things first, I would actually see Craigslist happening before anything, because it's just so easy. Oh, hey, I just got a text message. Hi, I'm Nicole with JM Research. Monique, you have been selected to take an important survey.
Did they just call you Monique?
Yep.
Oh, take this survey. Please take this survey.
No.
Let me take this survey.
No,
I want to.
This is phishing. Don't fill those out.
Oh. You mean there's not hot single ladies in my area ready to get down?
I bet you can't remember the name of where you went to high school and the first car you owned.
Oh my gosh. I love whenever people put that stuff, and I'm just like,
every time I see it, I'm like, Dad, stop posting on those things.
Dad, cut it out.
Well, I've also made sure that my dad is using a unique bank or a unique email account just for his bank.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. Because
listen, if someone can do some stuff with my bank account, more fucking power to you, because you've earned it. Like, that's all you guys. Like, gosh, that's like people are like, are you afraid someone's gonna open up a credit card in your identity? Motherfucker, I can't open up a credit card in my identity.
Will they pay it?
yeah. I mean, will they make like on time payments? Like that'd be great. That would help. Could you imagine? You know what? Imagine turning your evil into good and being like, listen, I used to be the guy who would take out credit cards in people's names. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. Like the Jordan Belfort of phishing for information, or like of fraudulent credit cards.
There's those guys on YouTube that like get on the phone with those hackers who are trying to get into your bank account, or
I love it.
And then they wind up hacking them back. And
yes,
those are always fun.
Oh, I absolutely love this. The best. All right, so I mean this in like the most least like sexist way possible. I love it whenever it's a female that like gets the male hacker, because like usually they treat females like they're especially dumb. And when they
victim
play
female or the attacker,
the victim female. Sorry, okay. The victim is female, the hacker is a male, and they talk to them like they're really stupid. And like the quote unquote victim who knows what they're doing plays it so well. And
it's always like he's acting like a grandmother.
Oh my gosh. I'm the Prince of Nigeria.
Anyway, let's get back on topic here.
Whoa.
Tax forms and stuff like that. So all to say, you were asking, will this move people in one direction or another? One of the beautiful things about Reverb is there's really not scams. And like, you don't realize like how, other than the guy who buys it and wants to return it right away.
Right.
That's the only real scam I've seen on Reverb. Because you get paid, like, because Reverb's handling the payment, it just gives it security. Plus you have all the Reverb protections.
I've seen a few of the whole I'll pay you via this and the courier will pick it up.
You see that on Reverb?
I've seen it, like, I'm talking about like twice. I've seen
that's a common Craigslist move.
Right. So I'm saying it's less common, a lot less common, very close to nil. So now here's the thing though, if Reverb is following this rule, wouldn't eBay and Sweetwater Marketplace have to follow suit?
They do.
Okay, so now the big thing is Reverb's the one that sent the email and everything.
Reverb was so early getting it out, and one of the things I will say good on Reverb What they did was they sent out an email saying, you will be receiving an email today on this from this group. And so what they did is they kind of gave some credibility to the follow-up thing. Because otherwise, if I would have gotten you need to fill out a 1099 on Reverb out of nowhere, I'd be like, screw off, I don't work for you. And I'd ignore that email and then I'd get in trouble. So I'm glad they sent that. And they also did it within such a reasonable time frame that we saw it, we read it, reacted, and then it came in at the right time, so that fakers didn't come through and whatever. Because I bet you Reverb's been hacked at some point, and all the email addresses at Reverb are already known.
I'm pretty sure there was a known leak at one point,
probably, but they always kind of got in front of it in a reasonable way. So I think that was handled well.
But the bad part of it is because they were the first one to step out, they're the first one to catch the arrows.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is in about a month or two, you're going to have people going, it's just not Reverb fucking us. It's the whole government.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see somebody who's like, all right, I sell like 5 pedals a year. So therefore I will do 3 on Reverb and I'll do 2 on eBay. So I can skate under the radar. I can see that being more there. Someone like me who sold, I don't know, 10 or 20 things on Reverb in the last year, it's too late. I already got to do it.
Right.
But
last 12 months, I've sold $1,400.
Okay. And that was all pretty much your gear supply.
Right. Yeah. $1,200 of a gear supply.
But I've got pedals I'm ready to sell that I haven't sold yet because I just don't know what to do with it. And the extra energy of thinking about, do I have to deal with tax implications? Am I flipping? What is this at a loss or a gain? All that has, just thinking about it has burned me out from listing on anything.
Oh, what? There's a gear supply. There's a compressor for $100. I don't need it.
Remember how you were good and not manic about buying things?
No, it was just,
yeah.
I thought it was, oh, what? Hold on. Sorry. Oh, the shipping's way too high. You remember those little Vailton pedals that look like mini Boss pedals?
Yeah.
They're on here for $45 brand new, but the shipping's $25.
Oof.
Where's it coming from? Oh, Australia. That's why.
That'll do it.
That'll do. I don't need this compressor.
So obviously Craigslist stays out of the market, or at least stays reasonably hidden because Craigslist hasn't really enforced anything on its platform.
Except for they took away the sexy ads.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying.
Okay. Facebook Marketplace does have a currency exchange component to it. Because like my local Facebook Marketplace, like I go in there and it's like all shipping, and I'm like, oh, so it's not really.
You can do local only.
I haven't really figured it out well enough then.
There's a little button right at the top that you hit that just says local only. Okay. I just did it.
But it's never really been that great of a marketplace for me. Just to be honest, most people, for whatever reason in Chicago, really seem to use like Reverb, it seems like. So, curious where this goes. I lost Diaz.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted on Marketplace. All right.
You found sexy ads?
There's hot local singles in my area that are wanting to meet. I have to pick up my kids, you jerks. Will you babysit? All right. So another thing that's happened this week is Premier Guitar started shipping out their stockings and people started getting them. And
to no surprise of anyone,
everyone was that Gibson? That was a beanie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not bad. Honestly, if I would have gotten
remember how expensive hats were at the Gibson store when we were there?
Yeah.
$40 value will be a Gibson keychain based on their pricing at the Gibson garage.
Like, yeah, for real. Like, honestly, I'm kind of a little upset I didn't do the stocking this year because I could have gotten a beanie.
I told the guy complaining about it, like, I'll give you $5 for the beanie.
Yeah, I'll give you 20. I'll let you get half your money back.
Anyway.
How much were the stockings? Are they $40?
They're $40, I think, or 45 with shipping. I don't really remember. But I stopped doing it. It just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, me too.
It always crashes during the launch. There's always hiccups when it happens. And
mine, it always happened, and I was always at work and trying to do it.
Yeah. I was in Hawaii one year when it happened. So I woke up at like 4 a.m. to do it.
Aloha, mother truckers. Let's get this going.
I wish I was in Hawaii right now.
Yeah.
This just got really sad.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I went for work, so I didn't really get to enjoy it that much. I read a book on a beach one day. It was November, so it wasn't that warm. But anyway, so you're going to see in Facebook groups over this next week, everyone complaining about getting a guitar strap, a pack of strings, a sample pick, a bunch of stickers, and coupons. But, I mean, at this point, this happens every year. Why do we keep thinking something different's going to happen for us? I'm seeing these guys who are like, I've done this for 5 years, I quit. And I don't know, man. Fool me once, shame on you.
Do you know what comes in
fool
a
me twice,
combo?
Never fool me again.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd see me quoting George W. Bush on the...
Oh my gosh. Dreams are the wings on which... Well, that's my favorite. Dreams are the wings on which we fly, or some stuff like that. The beginning of Step Brothers.
Oh.
Listen, and I love George W. I do. Honestly, the most heartwarming thing ever is still going to be the relationship between George W. Bush and Michelle Obama.
Oh, the picture where he's enjoying all of that hug. Yeah.
Oh, no, not even
cute.
that. Just the fact that they seek. Have you seen the videos where they like slip each other candy and notes and everything?
Oh no, that's cute.
Yeah. So if you ever see the Obamas and the Bushes together, like most of the time, like you'll find there'll be a time where George and Michelle are like either sitting next to each other or like passing each other stuff. Like they get like it's honestly it's one of those things like that you see. And I was having a political discussion, which I don't like having them that much anymore. But I had someone made a Trump comment and kind of made like a liberals bad comment. I sat there and I was like, you got to understand, like it takes all types, and especially in the area in which I live, there's a lot more vocal conservatives than there are liberals or moderates, as I consider myself kind of a moderate. But yeah, like that's one of the things that I sat there. I was like, have you ever paid attention to previous presidents and how they react with each other? They're like, no. I'm like, if you like go and look, like they all have a mutual respect for each other.
I mean, they've all experienced something that very few people have ever experienced.
Right. Just the amount of pressure and just constant. I mean, my job is stressful, and I feel like I have to deal with a constant. I mean, the country doesn't sleep. You know,
you don't take a vacation.
You can go golfing apparently,
but don't you dare play basketball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. But yeah, like that was one of the things that we were talking about. I was like, but like, have you seen like Donald and Melania, like any of the things? They're like, no. I'm like, exactly. But we're not going to go on to that anymore. We've already talked enough politics. We might want to just end the show. Have we talked long enough?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all you're getting out of us, guys. Once again, shout out to Electrometal Sound Co. and our Patreon supporters for sponsoring this episode. You can go to patreon.com/theeffectsloop and sign up for any tier you would like. Apparently, it doesn't show that there is a $10 tier. Tom, you can always change that later. You didn't have to just, but anyhow, because he was like, oh, I didn't know there's a $10 tier. Yeah, you can give as much as you want.
A cool thing about the $5 tier and up is you get to join a chat room with the host, get to influence the show, send us topics, send us things to look at. There's always kind of a daily discussion of what's going on.
Appropriate things to look at. Clearing that out. Semi-appropriate things
we need to start enforcing that rule then. But yes, no, we don't share porn with each other.
No.
Everything's above board in this group other than our comments.
Yeah. No, we act goofy, but we're good people.
Another perk of the $5 tier and up is you get the show early.
That's true. Oh, they're going to get it super early this week.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, dang.
So
that's odd.
If Wednesday's not the day for you, and you're like, I'd really rather listen to this at like 6:30 Central Time on a Monday, because that's kind of when it gets posted. You can join the Patreon and you'll get it then. when I get it done on time.
6.5 average. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Go to theeffectsloop.com. It has a link to all of our cool stuff, like the Facebook group, Instagram, YouTube, our email, our Patreon. If you have any topics or suggestions for topics, you can go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/theeffectsloop. You can tell us there, or you can email us at theeffectsloop@gmail.com.
Not to fully interrupt you in this flow, but
just partially interrupt.
Last week, you all did a great job of commenting on the whole PRS outselling Fender thing.
Yeah,
in the
that
Facebook
was
group.
cool.
And that actually turned into a lively discussion. So let's talk about taxes on reverb and whether that's going to affect you. Or should we talk about Premier guitar stockings? Which one do you want to do, Diaz?
You know what? You can bitch about whatever you want.
Let's make 2 threads.
2 bitch threads.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be great. All right, guys. Well, we will see you in the group bitching about things. So for the Effects Loop, I'm Diaz.
I'm Scott.
We'll see you in there, and we'll complain together.
I'll see you later, or see you at another time.
Catch you on the flip side.
You got it, Jobin. Bye.
You taste like an ashtray.
Wow, he really got up in there.
He really, yeah. I've got to go watch it. Yeah. He broke my heart too. Oh my gosh, dirty boy. John Lennon is Thomas Lennon.
Tom Lennon is a genius in everything he does.
Reno 911. Still, I feel like.
Have you watched any of the remake? No. It's on Peacock, right?
They lost me at my age. So I was heavy in the Reno 911 whenever it was like Comedy Central late nights. And then once they started doing they kind of played it out for a little too long.
Well, when what's his name? Nick Swartzen's character, they find out everything he's been saying is actually real.
Yes. Oh my gosh, whenever he's on the roller skates all the time. I want the Tom Morello MXR pedal really bad.
I mean, it's MXR. We'll be able to try it out.
Yeah. I wonder whenever they're going to start hitting stairs. Let's see if it's on Guitar Center's website. I might make my kids go to Guitar Center's punishment for making me wait. So my son wants a guitar for Christmas. So I'm going to give him my old Alvarez. I'm going to clean it up and restart it.
That's a good start guitar.
It's a fantastic guitar. I love that guitar. I really don't want to give it to him, but I love it.
And I also bet you could throw some string joys on that instead of like
Oh yeah.
The string joy acoustic strings last a while, even without like that cleaner treatment. But two, they just sound way better. Like when I switched from a Lister to string joy because of our sponsorship and whatnot, like we tried around with but I was like the acoustic was the biggest night and day difference for me, even though I really liked what happened. Sorry, what happened. So just make sure you oil that thing before you get to it, because he's never been moving it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
That should stop recording.
Welcome to the motherfucking Effects Loop, motherfuckers. So you don't want to pay that.
Okay. Breathe in. Slow. Slowly.
That's a problem. I didn't slow it. Well, welcome to the...